Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.
And I think we're live. Hopefully you're coming across this time. I think I need to fix it again. You want to check on that real quick? Cool. Awesome. I don't know. I couldn't tell you why this is happening. All I know is it's happening. Properties, device. Say something. Nope, not working. Properties. Try to say something now.
Hello?
Okay, now you should be coming across.
Okay.
I see the bar moving. That's a good sign, right?
Big green bar go up?
Big green bar go up. Do you hear yourself on the podcast?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Woo!
You should probably check if the green bar goes up before we start.
See, I should. But, we're doing it live.
Experience here.
I know.
For experience here, yeah.
Look, what would be a podcast without a tech issue to some extent?
Yeah.
At least it's a small one I could fix.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you know what? We're live. We're live on the internet today with another round of Pass Assault. And as usual, to recap, I'm Matthew Garcia. I'll be your main host today, and I got with me
Taylor Evans, co-founder and co-host Tet for Thought here. How's it going?
Going good. It's been a fun week this past week around. Been some interesting news to say the least. A lot of good stuff to recap.
Because we missed last week, we might delve into news that's 2 weeks old, but we still wanted to talk about. Anyway,
yeah.
That we didn't.
Yeah, missed it last week. Took a bit of time off to enjoy our personal lives on the weekend while we could. But before we dive into the news, let's do our recaps. Just stating that we do ask that you subscribe to our channel. Okay, that's you. And because we are striving for that 100 subscriber mark to get that custom URL, because that would be lovely. That this massive goal of ours to get that custom URL, because it just makes everything look a lot cleaner and a lot more professional. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you also want to share the good word of Tech for Thought, we do have a couple places where you can, tag us at. Main one being Twitter at tech_4, being the number 4_thought. We do use that to, for general memes when we post things to go live and other various things. We do also have an Instagram that is up and running now at tech_4, spelled FOR_thought. And I have learned that Instagram is a bitch to use on the computer. Because why can't you just post stuff from the website while you're logged in on the computer?
Imagine using a desktop in 2021.
Apparently.
It's all about phones, bro. Come on.
Easy, bro. But in other related things, I know we do have our affiliate.
Culture of Gaming. Oh, I didn't realize it was you. Okay. Cultureofgaming.com, gaming news, reviews, etc.
All the good stuff. I know we are working getting that up and running. It's going to be some time because there is a lot to do for it.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of goes over the recap. I mean, Taylor, how have you been doing the last week? What you been up to?
Been doing okay past week. Well, I guess in terms of just PC related stuff, got a new mouse. Got the GMMK Pro assembled, up and running, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Had a bit of drama with GMMK Pro firmware and whatnot. So that's...
What drama did you have with the firmware?
All right, so when I first started putting the keyboard together and whatnot, the keyboard that Glorious, or not the keyboard, the firmware that Glorious had put out wasn't the greatest and whatnot. And so lots of users were reporting a really high latency and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. I remember now.
And whatnot. And then, so I looked down, fits in, and a lot of people are saying, yeah, well, if you go through this, there's this open source firmware for mechanical keyboards called QMK, okay? That's compatible with a lot of different keyboards, including the GMK Pro. People are like, oh yeah, just flash QMK onto it and whatnot.
Yeah.
and it should improve things. And
Professional. Yes.
what had to happen is I ended up flashing the QMK firmware,
Mm-hmm.
only for the very same day for Glorious to ship out a new firmware update from themselves,
Mm-hmm.
which improved things or made things at least comparable. So to QMK.
Did you notice any uptick in the improvements? Anything noticeable?
Nope.
No progress.
Well, actually, okay, so going from old Glorious firmware to QMK, yes, but then QMK on the current Glorious firmware, no, there's not really.
Okay,
an
so
appreciable
both of them
difference.
are on equal playing ground on that front.
Yes,
Is there still a
and
noticeable lag?
No, which is
Okay.
good.
Improvements.
And yeah, and I'm just going with the Glorious firmware right now because at least I can use like the software suite to control lighting and whatnot, and not have to code in specific lighting lines for what I want to do. So,
Yeah, gotcha there. And when you say
Yeah.
you got a new mouse, what mouse did you get?
the Logitech G Pro X wireless super light thing. Names are tough. I don't know.
It's Logitech, bro. They
Yeah,
have the worst naming
their
scheme.
names are always horrible. Yeah.
Straight
so,
up.
Yeah. So far, so good.
Yes,
using
Nerd
it for-
Wickens. We are professionally unprofessional.
Been using it for a few weeks now.
Nice.
And yeah.
Does it make your
it's-
flicks faster?
Yes, but that's mostly due to the absurd lightness of it. I've definitely almost just like thrown it to the side into like the side of my PC window on accident before flicking, and
Have you-
yeah.
Does it make it
It is.
faster to flick to the back of the teammates' skulls in Siege?
Yes, it does. It is very efficient at that. But yeah, the weight was definitely something to get used to, especially coming off a previous mouse that weighed something like 130 grams, and now this is going to like 60, a little over 60. So,
Okay, that's not
quite
not
the
the
change,
worst.
but overall, I really like it. The big thing that I noticed with it is like the glide for it is really, really nice, which I like.
Yeah,
So,
it's got
yeah.
got some nice feet on them.
yeah, and I didn't think I would like the lightweight, but I do. So,
That's fair.
Yeah.
I got a chunky mouse with the Naga.
hmm
I think is a
So how about yourself?
I myself, I've been working a lot of overtime this week, honestly, with my work, because I'm
Mhm.
trying to get that money, because they are
Yeah.
allowing it right now. So I've more or less been plugging away at work, trying to make a little bit of bank, so I could help with various things and see what we can do to improve the channel. And most of my time has been spent researching to see what we can do to grow the channel.
Okay.
Not a lot of it's been very helpful.
Oh,
But yeah, still trying to plug away at that, see what we can do. I don't know. I think we're not doing too bad right now with the amount of things we have in relations to social media. It's just making sure that we need to use it more effectively.
hmm
And if our guy Sean would make more memes and post them on our various things, that would be helpful.
things.
I know you're watching right now. All right, but that's basically what I've been up to. Also playing some Siege and Genshin like usual.
Yeah,
Two
of course,
completely
it's
opposite
education,
games.
right? Well, sometimes you need to just, happy anime land and whatnot, and then other times you need to go straight blood for the blood god,
Yes,
Although, thanks to China, it's not like there's that much blood in Siege anymore anyway. So.
True. That's a story for a different day. But you know
Yeah.
what story you have today? Which one do you want to start with? Apple or Samsung?
What's our headlining top? Let's just go with Apple.
All right. Let's go
Yeah.
with Apple since that's the order in the dock.
Yeah.
Can you get your camera to focus? There we go. Cool. It went out of focus for I don't know why.
I need a new webcam.
Yes, you
anyway.
do. Get one of those
Just in
4K webcams.
Honestly, yeah, I've been thinking about like the Logitech like Brio one or whatever. It's supposed to be really
Yeah.
nice. So, anyway.
Give us an Are we? I assume we're streaming in 1080p right now. We are. Cool.
Yes, you're the one who sets it.
See, I just said it and I forget it. Set
Okay.
and forget it. That's my rule of thumb. If it doesn't
Gotcha.
work like that, then I have issues.
Yeah. You're the one who sets it.
Yes. I... Moving on into our first topic here. With recent news about apps updating their privacy stuff, Apple is going to start checking iCloud photos uploaded to it for child abuse.
Not really.
Not really, but that's the headline.
Yeah, I know. It's not going to start. It already has been. Do you want? I don't know. Do you want to read it all in the article, and I'll tell you why it's wrong?
Yeah, I'll read the article,
Okay,
then we
yeah,
could
just go
dive
ahead.
into why it's wrong.
Yeah, and just why this whole thing
So
about Apple has just been honestly a failure at communication, like for Apple at this part, but then honestly tech media just like willing to jump on and dogpile against Apple predominantly for stuff. So,
because it's
and
fun.
without having to understand it.
We
Exactly.
could make a video about that in the future.
I
I could
enjoy
make that.
shitting on a trillion-dollar company.
It feels good, man. Feels good.
Yeah.
But going into the article itself, Apple Inc. on Thursday said it will implement a system that checks photos on iPhones in the United States before they are uploaded to its iCloud storage service to ensure the uploads do not match known images of child sexual abuse. Detections of child abuse image uploads sufficient to guard against false positives will trigger a human review. The wording on this is so weird. Thanks, Reuters. Will trigger a human.
This was a bot-written article.
Let's just continue. Let's see where this goes. Will trigger a report of the user to law enforcement. Apple said the system is designed to reduce false positives to 1 in 1 trillion
Per year.
Apple's new system seeks to address requests from law enforcement to help stem child sexual abuse while also respecting privacy and security practices that are a core tenet of the company's brand. But some privacy advocates say the system could open the door to monitoring a political speech or other content on iPhones. Most of the major technology providers, including Alphabet, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, are already checking images against database of known child sexual abuse imagery. With so many people using Apple products, these new safety measures have life-saving potentials for children who are being enticed online and whose horrific images are being circulated in child sexual abuse material. John Clark, Chief Executive of National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, said in a statement, "The reality is that privacy and child protection can coexist." Do you want me to go into how they say the system works?
No, you can stop it. It's fine.
All
All right. So, actually, I think the article leaves out. There's like 3 or 2 other components to this besides this, and Apple came out with this all at once, and that's why I think the media threw such a hissy fit and everything was because they were getting things confused. So let's just talk about the immediate issue at hand, which is what this article is talking about. You know, the whole like scanning iCloud photos and whatnot. It's not actually scanning the photos in the sense there's like some deep learning AI doing it and whatnot and scanning the photos. There's these things that are basically called keys in each photo. Every photo has it and whatnot. And CSAM, which is this nationally recognized database of existing like child sexual abuse images and whatnot, or like child abuse images that have been seized by law enforcement over the years. They get entered into this database and they're uniquely fingerprinted and everything. And so what systems like what Apple has for iCloud and whatnot, what and other services do it. Microsoft does it with OneDrive, Dropbox does it, Google Photos does it, etc. So there's a good chance you've already encountered it and whatnot. So all this does is it just scans uploaded photos for that unique fingerprint. That's all it is. It doesn't the system doesn't detect any sort of like content in it. It just checks for the fingerprint. And again, these are very unique fingerprints of the photos and whatnot that are generated. And it's so robust enough that say it's like you take a picture of my car and I take a picture of my car, despite the subject being the same, they can even be for like the same angle, same lighting conditions, etc. Those 2 fingerprints for those photos are going to be completely different from each other. The system will not be able to recognize if they're the same photo or not, because it's just checking the fingerprint.
It looks at the embedded info in the image itself. I forget the exact word for it, but there's some sort of embedded information in regards to it.
Yes. And so Apple and Google and Samsung and pretty much every like normie public photo backup service and whatnot that you've probably used before does this system. The difference is, or the thing is like they do it when it's finally uploaded to the servers and whatnot. And so the only thing Apple is changing, and so this isn't like a new thing for Apple. The only thing Apple is changing is that photos that are being slated to be backed up from to iCloud from whatever iDevice you have, the check is going to happen on the device as opposed to before it reaches the server.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that's changing. The check is going to now happen on device as opposed to the server. And again, it's only for photos that are going to be backed up against, like, to it. So if you have iCloud photo backup turned off, not going to apply to any of your photos. So what happened and why the media kind of thought there was, like, turned this into a massive shit show is because at the same time, Apple also announced these new parental control features for iOS 15, and it's with regards to iMessage. So basically what's going to happen is that if you have, Apple apparently has, like, family accounts or whatever, so it's like mom and dad have their, like, parent accounts, and then you can create child accounts and everything, so it's like your son or daughter has, like, iPhones or whatever, also you can create them as, like, child accounts and stuff like that, whatever. Allows you parental controls. What they're doing, what Apple is doing, and now this is where actual image scanning comes in, like, in terms of, like, an AI, machine learning, stuff like that, is that, so what Apple's doing now is, and this is opt-in too, like, the parents can enable it or disable it as they want and whatnot, is Apple with iMessage is going to scan incoming photos onto the device and is also going to scan outgoing photos on the device as well. And so if the little machine detects that, oh, the image is, like, sexual in nature and whatnot, if the child account is 13, if the person on the child account is, like, 13 or under, it's going to give a warning as well, like, whether or not it's receiving or sending it's going to give a warning to the user, like the direct user, whether it's receiving or sending a sexual based image or a sexually explicit image, and then it's also going to notify the parent, in which case the parent can go in and look to see what the photo was that they got, whatnot. If like you age out of it, so if, like, between 14 and 17 or whatever, it's just only going to give the warning, but the parent is not notified by default, at least. Again, it's like parents can have a little bit more granular control over it.
Parental discretion.
So yeah, that's where the image scanning comes in. And no, it does not break the iMessage end-to-end encryption because the scan happens on the device itself before it leaves it. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
And
it's basically you can know if your daughter gets a nude or not, you know?
Dick pic?
Yeah.
With it, I mean, I see what they're going for, but they should have spaced out the timing in terms of news releases. Because with the I think in the article in regards to the actual scanning of iCloud and whatnot.
No, it's not scanning iCloud. It's
I was gonna correct myself.
Okay.
I know it's not scanning iCloud, but it's looking for your devices and comparing it to what's already in a registered system. I'm trying to find the exact wording that it gives.
It talks about how it's like the database could potentially be expanded to like censor certain political imagery, but that argument, when all the companies a few years ago started implementing this for stuff, that argument never got brought up, you know?
I thought I saw some. Thursday said to implement system to check photos before they are uploaded to iCloud storage device. Yeah. Okay. So, and I know with it there was a clarifying statement that, you know, they said there is no backdoor to it because if you don't enable iCloud storage, then you don't have that, you know, scan going on. And it's one of those things that it's just such poor wording on $1 trillion companies' faults for kind of doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, outside of, like, just general, like, Word docs and stuff, I don't really keep anything stored on the internet.
Okay.
I don't know. It's one of those things that's like, I get what they're shooting for, but their presentation is absolute ass tier like usual.
Yeah, it was not. And also, it's like, I do hate the way they framed it and whatnot, so that if you were somehow against it, you had to deal with not only, like, Apple people, but you also had to deal with Think of the Children people, which are potentially the two worst audiences to have to argue against.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can make a video about it deeper and kind of explaining what's going on with that stuff. But they did have a statement saying that the way this is being described in the media, including last week's. Oh, this is more of a comment via poster on the LTT forum. The way it's being described by the media, including last week's WAN show, is totally misrepresenting how the feature is being implemented. The scanning of CSAM is only happening to images stored on iCloud, Google, Facebook, and Microsoft already scan for the same images on their servers.
You have to by law in the U.S.
Yeah, that's a federal regulation. Apple is scanning the images on the phones rather than their servers, but only images about to be uploaded, so they're on their way to being uploaded. The reason Apple is doing this is a way that requires the database of images that are being searched for is on the device. Explicitly, the list of neural hashes. This allows anyone to verify that Apple is doing whatever they are claiming to be doing. Contrary to the approach that Google, I'm not sure, whatever.
Google and company, like the aforementioned people, so like Google, Microsoft, etc., like they mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where their scanning is done server side and it is impossible to verify what they are searching for. Importantly, none of this applies if you choose not to use iCloud.
Mm-hmm. And it should also be mentioned that this feature is only rolling out in the U.S. at first, both the parental controls I was talking about as well as this scanning and whatnot. Because a lot of people are like, well, what if, Saudi Arabia forces Apple to, search for like gay photos or something like that in order to persecute gay people? Because, Muslim country, not super down with the gays. For what it's worth, Tim Cook himself is homosexual. So I really don't think he would, be cool with Saudi Arabia wanting Apple to,
There's also the people who don't like the fact that that the government can make $1 trillion company bend its knee when it comes to certain things. I know that I've heard that argument as well in relations to this. Because they were talking.
There's both a good thing and a bad thing. Well, on one hand, private company, but also at the other hand, the U.S. especially, if you go back to the early 20th century and whatnot with like Teddy Roosevelt, has a very historic legacy of trust busting, trust busting and whatnot, and protecting the U.S. citizen from the overreach of mega corporations. That's something that is a very historical legacy to the U.S.
Those days are long and gone, though. Let's be honest here.
I know. I'm just saying.
How long has it been since we've seen the last monopoly busted up?
The 30s with AT&T and Bell.
Yeah. But with it, I saw there was some deeper argument about it because there was also some privacy thing that Apple planned on implemented, but some 3-letter agency showed up and they just pretty much never talked about it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what that whole thing was, basically Apple has been trying for years to end-to-end encrypt iCloud backups.
That's right.
So, yeah. If anything, this little the fingerprint analysis happening on the device is a way to start achieving that, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
But I mean, it's one of those things that it's just, the headlines being headlines and people exaggerating it for whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And it was honestly just very much ado about nothing.
A system that's already been in place. I would honestly feel more weird about the parental settings than anything.
Yeah, I actually have a bigger problem with the parental settings and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, it's because the argument can also extend to that, I understand thinking of the children, but at the same time also that those controls aren't explicitly used just on a parental, child relationship and whatnot.
Yeah.
There are a lot of instances of abusive adult relationships where the abuser, does things like create a child account for the abusee and whatnot for stuff to have more and more control over that person's life. So, that is definitely something to consider. So,
yeah, I work in I work in a call center and I, try to get people have talk of hey, I'm calling on behalf of this person and I'm like, cool, can I speak to them? And they'd be like, no. I was like, cool, not talking to you then.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun with your day, sir. But yeah, it's that sort of situation is much more common than people believe, and that's what I have issues with as well.
Right.
Because there are some very manipulative people out there who would go that far just to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, so that's kind of
we can make it.
That's the only real. That's the only real issue I see with it. Honestly, is like it's like it can be ripe for abuse, especially if it's used by people that it's not the intended audience for.
Yeah. But I can make a deeper video about that this week in relations to the privacy stuff going on with Apple and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But shall we move on to our next topic, our headlining topic, if you will?
I'm gonna talk a lot this week, so yes.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
I know you got a lot of stuff.
I have got some thoughts.
All right, so with the kind of the bigger news this week, this one more brought to you by Samsung, but this one in particular article is by Tom's Guide. They're awesome.
Headlining topic this week.
Samsung Unpacked. We got the Galaxy Z Fold 3, Z Flip 3, Galaxy Watch, and more.
The Note had to die for this. The Note died for this, and I am salty as hell.
The Note died for this. May it rest in peace.
Because the Note has been my daily driver. A Note device has been essentially my daily driver for the better part of 3 years now, since I got the Note 9.
No thanks.
And yeah. Anyway.
But yep. As promised, Samsung ushered in a new wave of foldable phones today on August 11th, which was a couple days ago now, during the 4th Galaxy Unpacked event of the year. But the new handset, yeah, have they released one about each quarter? I'd say, plus one.
Okay, so there was the one at the beginning of the year with the S21 stuff.
Yeah,
I remember that one. There was the second one where I think they did a tablet.
Yes.
I have no knowledge of what the third one would have been.
Google it. Search it while I'm and put in the doc while I'm reading this. The 4 big product announcements making for a pretty packed day of news. Speaking of the packed days, the next one is circles on your calendars August 27th, as that's when the Galaxy Z Fold 3, Galaxy Z Flip 3, and Galaxy Watch 4 and Galaxy Buds 2 hit retail shelves. For kind of the Galaxy Z Fold 3, they have articles for each of them. I'd rather not dive into them just yet. But with those, they are the latest of Samsung's offerings worth your time and money. You can read more to care. Z Fold 3, the third version of Samsung's initial foldable device, looks a lot like its predecessors, no surprise there, with a phone-sized device unfolding to reveal a tablet-style 7.6-inch screen. But Samsung made some critical changes to the Galaxy Z Fold 3, both in the interior and exterior display, having a faster 120Hz refresh rate, and the foldable adds the support of Samsung's S Pen. So there you go.
Okay,
you got your note.
So the first one was S21.
Yeah.
The second one was like the Galaxy A series, which are like budget phones and whatnot. The third one was laptops.
Yeah, which probably had the tablet stuff.
And I believe the tablet too. And then we're talking about the fourth one.
Samsung makes tablets. Mainly about Z Fold 3. It has a faster 120Hz display.
Cool.
And it has added support for an S Pen. So there you go. You have your Note Lite.
Well, okay. So here's the thing about that, though.
Let me finish. Let me finish the part.
No. Okay.
I'm just gonna finish the Z Fold, and you can rant about it, and we'll move on to each device, doing one at a time now.
Okay.
The camera on the interior display is under display shooter, meaning the displays from the view when not in use, and Samsung looks to make its foldable phone more durable with an IPX8 water-resistant rating. The Galaxy Z Fold 3 costs $1,800, a lower price than last year's model.
Oh.
No,
I think last year's model was like 2,400. So that's
yeah,
not bad.
It's a definite lower in price.
The tech is getting better.
I'm not willing to spend that much on a phone, man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like my SA Plus is still running fine, even though I beat it to shit and back, but it still runs great. Got horrible screen burn in, but I could still watch videos.
It's like, that's the biggest hurdle for me too with like either one of these folding things is just like
the price.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not willing to spend that much on a phone. I just simply don't use a phone enough to warrant that much, you know?
Yeah.
Or anyway.
If there's anything like really intensive, I just go to my freaking Surface for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, barely do anything on my phone outside of watch videos and listen to music. But okay, note, nice that the price is decreased. It's nice that the as S Pen support. Nice that it has a waterproof rating now, or water resistant rating as well. My only gripe I could see is for the 120 hertz display, right? You're gonna have to lower your screen quality because I know that's the only way you could achieve it in the past with Samsung is by lowering the.
I don't think with this, I think you can do because at least with the S21 Ultra, you could do 1440p and 120 hertz.
Yeah, this is a bigger screen as well overall. It's not just 1440p.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I don't know specifically, but
Yeah.
for it because I think we might have to wait for the reviews to go out before it. So.
Yeah, that and does it say all of them are releasing August 27th? So we'll probably have a review on that day or the day before.
Wait,
All
what?
right, they said it was releasing on the August 27th.
Yeah. You said we'll have a review?
No, I said there will be reviews.
We'll get reviews. Yeah, around then. Okay,
there will be reviews around that. I'm not buying that.
Wait, you can buy one of these? We just talked yesterday and you thought they were dumb.
I still do think they're dumb. I don't like flip devices. It's just another point of failure. I like a simple device that just works.
Okay.
Moving on to the next device, the Z Flip 3. For this, like Galaxy Z Fold 3, Samsung's foldable flip phone should be more durable thanks to its IPX8 water-resistant rating. We've got and they've looked at it for comparison. The big change here is the outer display of the Galaxy Z Flip 3, unlike the 1.1-inch strip on the original phone. The new screen is now 1.9 inches, making it easier to handle notifications without having to open the phone. Otherwise, the Galaxy Z Flip 3 looks a lot like its predecessor, though with new colors and more powerful processors than before. No surprise there. Samsung has dropped the price of the Z Flip 3 to $1,000. First time you can get a foldable phone for less than $1,000, which $999 it's $1,000.
I was going to say it's $999.99, isn't it?
Yes. And pre-orders are underway, but it's nice to see that they have at least brought it in line with other phones of similar class.
At least this one, yes.
I'm not impressed.
I'm not. It's like if you're going to say do a foldable phone, the only real viable one for me is going to be the Z Folds because you get phone into a tablet sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that the Z Flip is anything more than
the Game Boy looking one.
Yeah, I'm not convinced the Z Flip is anything more than a party or bar trick.
Yeah, really. But you could, how in the past you could just hang up your phone when you get mad at them, though. You could do that again.
Yeah, that is cool, and that is an actual feature that I've seen go around. It's you can flip it to answer it, and you can close it to end the call. So that is cool.
That's nice they brought that back. That was a very nice tactile feature. My issue is
I don't know. The Z Flip is you sit down at a bar next to a cute looking blonde or whatever. You unfold your phone in front of her. She's like, "Whoa, that's
gotta flip
cool.
it like a knife."
That's cool. And then she doesn't talk to you at all because it's not an iPhone and blue bubbles. Anyway.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
I don't want to talk about it.
But my issue is with foldable phones, one, the screens are softer, so they're a lot more prone to scratching and whatnot, as well as it's just another point of failure. And knowing myself and how much I have absolutely wrecked devices as I have had in the past, it's only going to be quicker for me to break a hinge on something.
Yeah, you'll just you'll unfold one of these too hard one day and just fuck it.
I actually cracked the screen on my current phone by squeezing it too hard. I caused more cracks because of that.
Exactly.
To be fair, I have a grip like nothing else, but that was fun. But you know what? Actually, one thing I'm kind of interested in is the Galaxy Watch 4. With it, Samsung.
Actually, out of all of this might be the most this might be the device I find most interesting in this entire thing.
Same.
Keep talking. Yeah.
Well, with it, Samsung is combining its own Tizen software with Google's Wear OS for a new entirely platform of smartwatches known as Wear OS by Samsung. The focus with this Galaxy Watch 4 is on health tracking features, highlighting the ability to measure body composition, so your BMI rating, body fat percentage, stuff like that. You can choose between two versions, the $249 Galaxy Watch 4 and the $349 Galaxy Watch Classic. Or Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. Honestly, not a bad price for a watch.
No, that's that's Apple Watch competition right there.
That is reasonable, and I appreciate the watches because they're actually more traditional looking. I like traditional watches.
Yeah.
They're just very stylish and classic to me.
I still think in the entire history of like Android smartwatches, the company that nailed like the look the most was Asus with their Zen watches or whatever that they released.
I don't remember what those looked like. Let me look them up.
Anyway,
But yeah, I think the how they've actually packed the ability to, like for body composition and all that is actually pretty darn cool.
yeah, they're trying to make it really competitive with the health advice, which is what the Apple Watch is getting more and more billed as in the first place. So, yeah, that is definitely direct.
Here's Asus's Zen watches. Actually, they actually look really cool.
Yeah,
that's
they
pretty
were
dope.
expensive as hell back in the day, but they were, yeah.
I know there are some smartwatches nowadays that are like very stylish and oriented towards that type of stuff. I forget the name of the one that I saw that I liked, but I know they're pretty cool. Well, but I actually if anything out of all the entire event, I'd probably pick up the watch.
Yeah.
But that requires me, buying something new. I've always bought used devices except for one thing really, which is my current Surface.
Okay.
Yeah. On to the final thing, I guess, for this, which is the Galaxy Buds 2, the latest wireless earbuds.
Which is the
fourth.
Yeah, we've been over this before. The fourth iteration of the Galaxy Buds.
Yep, we got Galaxy Buds, Galaxy Buds Pro, Galaxy Buds Live, then these Galaxy Buds 2.
Yeah.
The latest wireless earbuds from Samsung offer an active noise cancellation in a more affordable $149 package. I do appreciate that they've been bringing the prices down. That is a step in the right direction.
That was about what the Galaxy Buds have been, 150.
Well, what have we had since then? The Live, which were what, like $200.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, now I see what you mean. Okay.
Since the actual generation.
Okay, I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, Samsung is definitely
They've
hiked the
got
prices down, which is nice to see because for a while it looked pretty bad. It's like the S20 Ultra was $1,400. The Note 20 Ultra was $1,300, which was a step in the right direction, but still ridiculously expensive. And then
I don't remember
so the S21
gold
Ultra
Apple
capped
Watch.
out around 1,100, which is directly competing with the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Yeah. I don't actually remember a $10,000 gold Apple Watch being sold before.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it was a whole gimmick.
Oh yeah, and Nerd Awaken saying that on the Samsung's website they have the Z Flip 3 for $499 on the bottom with a small text saying with eligible trade-ins, of course. I would hate to review one of those phones because God knows I'll break it before I can complete the review.
Have me review it.
I know. That's why I'd have you review it. That's what, like, I review different things.
Yeah. Anyway, can I talk now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
So, all right. So let's go. All right. So let's talk about like the S Pen support for both devices. This is the thing. Okay. So I don't use the S Pen a whole lot. Okay. But when I have had to use it, I've always been glad that I've had it. But the thing is, I fall in this unique position where it's like, although I am glad that I have the S Pen when I've had to use it and everything, I don't use it enough to warrant justifying like having a case for it and everything, like you have to do for like the S21 Ultra. That just looks weird and whatnot, or for what you have to do for one of the folding devices here. Okay. So it's not worth it enough to me to have like the S Pen in its own separate little case and whatnot, which is why I like the Note so much, is because it just goes right in the phone, So that's the thing, and that's kind of like, well, it's like, does it really matter because you use the S Pen? It's like, yes, it does, because I don't want to have to buy a separate case and a separate S Pen for it. That's one thing I think the article left out. Maybe I just missed it, but you have to buy a specific S Pen for use on the folds here. So, yeah.
Yeah, it did not state like what type of S Pen you had to use.
But that is a thing, and the phone will just straight up not work with S Pens not made like compatible with the phone.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm not surprised.
So yeah, but I don't know. It's like
Oh,
the Note series died for a cheap party trick
let
and
me,
a I really need a tablet in my pocket.
at least the tablet one makes sense. I could at
Okay,
least
that's
understand
better.
that.
Why can't we just gotten like we did last year and gotten the Fold and the Note anyway?
No. In Do you think they should just get rid of the S Pen?
In general, no, I don't think so.
What device do you see it reasonably working on nowadays? Since the Note is no longer a thing. Since the
Well,
Note
okay,
is silently like
reasonably working on at least the Fold because yeah, I don't know. It's like you know how popular like the iPad Pro is with the pencil or whatever they call it now.
I mean, that's a tablet. That's a different story though. That's like apples and
Yeah,
oranges.
not well. Okay, when you're considering the Fold that unfolds into more of a tablet-like device, that does make sense. Plus, also just having a stylus is useful to navigate a phone. It's like you channel the old like retro PDA vibes whenever you do it. You know,
But would you
and
go
it's
out of your way to buy one for a device like that? Like for the Fold?
uh me personally, no, because of reasons I just said.
Yeah.
But I think it is still like perfectly justified that it exists like compatible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Why
I
not?
think because
Well, okay, you've never used it though. That's the like you've never used.
I use a freaking pen all the time on my Surface.
Well, I mean,
I'm
you've never
not
used it. You've
unexperienced
never
with
used
one.
a pen on the phone though. That's the thing. It's a whole different thing.
What I'm trying to say is if they're just tacking it on as an extra with the way that it is right now, I don't see it being justified as its own standing product, and it'll eventually disappear into the night like the Note did.
Oh, I see what you did. Oh, I see what you mean now. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Because for me, having it as an add-on like that just doesn't make it justifiable in the long run because it's just not going to be
Yes.
used.
Okay.
I'm not going to spend $120 on a little pen I can't just store on the device. At least with my Surface, it magnetically holds to the side of it.
The entire issue, they need to figure out a way to put the pen in the hinge.
No, I
That'd be perfect.
it would, but you have so
You
many
put the
electronics running through there. It could be kind of weird.
I know, I'm just saying, they need to find a way to do it. They need to put the pen through the hinge, and it'll be perfect.
It would. I use the S Pen a lot for notes when I had a Note 9. But do you have a Note 9 now? Do you use a stylus now? No, that's what I thought.
He does on his iPad Pro,
I know.
or his iPad.
Like I said, on the tablet, it's a different experience,
I
though.
know, okay, well, his phone doesn't have the stuff.
Yeah. If it's not included, then it doesn't seem like justifiable to me.
But it's also just straight up not compatible with, like, an iPhone.
I'm talking about the S Pen.
I know. I'm talking about the.
You're talking about the Apple Pencil or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I know.
I just imagine that the S Pen is going to disappear in a soon amount of time because it's just not included with devices. And the average normie is definitely not going to go out of the way to buy an extra S Pen that they're going to have to buy a specific case for to be able to carry it. It
Okay,
just seems like a lot of hoops they
yes,
have to
okay.
go through.
Then yes, I think that's partially the point I was making too. It's like even as someone who finds the S Pen existing like useful and everything, I'm not willing to go out of my way. I'm not even willing to go out of my way to buy a case by it. You know?
Yeah.
I just don't use it enough. So I guess that goes into the fundamental issue of Samsung will only have like previous existing users go for that and everything because they know what they want
Yeah.
or need out of the S Pen, but definitely the new market uptick is going to not be like there won't be a new audience for it necessarily, you know?
Yeah. The user base is not going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Just like how Firefox's user base isn't growing.
I'm not done yet.
Damn it! I thought it was smooth.
No. Well, it was, but I'm not done yet.
The Apple fanboy here. I'm aware you're an Apple fanboy.
Yeah, it started. You got an iPhone, and then it's like a gateway drug. You got the iPhone, and then you got like AirPods or the watch or something, and then you had an iPad, and then you have a MacBook now, and
So
wow.
so when you trade your desktop for a Mac, one of those nice like colored ones, get in a nice like purple or something.
I'm good, thanks. But okay, so I guess it's frustrating that it's like the Note dot or Samsung basically
I think it's
gaslit
just
its
neat.
Yeah, look, man, I just like the Samsung basically gaslit its customers into killing the Note, which is pretty sad. But they were like, yeah, Note sales are like down year over year because, they managed to feature pare down a device so much that sales declined, and then they gaslit their customer base into, well, the Note isn't selling well, so we're not going to do another Note, you know?
It's also one of the things that in regards to like feature paring down the device, the Note had everything and never improved from there.
Right, exactly. It peaked at the Note 9 and only went down.
Yes. And along with it, it's because they had to do something better than before in relations to devices, and their benchmark is the Note, which they haven't made any substantial improvements on since you said the Note 9, or arguably the Note 7. uh, but with it, they just never iterated from there, and they just iterated from the S series, just adding those given things to it. So
Yeah. And it's like Samsung needs to recognize that it's like the audience for the Note is completely separate than like audiences for other phones in general, but
yeah,
especially other Samsung devices. So it's like, your average Note user would be fine with a much thicker phone because it had a headphone jack or had a larger battery and everything. It's like pretty much the average Note user doesn't really care about aesthetics all that much, just as long as the phone functions really, really well.
yeah.
That's the thing. It has a bunch of features in it. It's like should have didn't have to go with the hole punch. Should have lived with the bezel on the Note. Still whatever.
Hey Sean, you know that meme format where it's like the average like blank, then average blank, and the bottom one it's like the Chad memes and whatnot, and the top one is just like the guy going like ballistic and ranting and whatnot. You have to say the average Galaxy S user being the ranting one, then the average Note user on the bottom just being an absolute Chad.
Yeah.
I think
Make that happen, please.
make it happen. Post it on our Twitter and Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you.
I keep forgetting that Linus from LTT still uses a Note 9 as his daily driver. Yep.
That is true.
That is very true. It was peak Note.
I thought about rebuying a Note 9.
Don't you guys still have a Note 10? Or did you trade that in?
Trade that in.
Okay. I know you had it for the longest time.
I know. It was sitting in my nightstand for a while.
Thank you, Sean. It was sitting in the living room ottoman for a while.
That too.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before I, crudely transition to our next topic that I couldn't, make it smooth like butter because somebody needed to say something more?
I'm pretty sure I said all I needed to say about the watch, so no, we can just go.
Oh,
I don't even want to touch the Galaxy Buds, so
it's
outside
not worth
of
it.
names are hard.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But in relations to Firefox, which you can see is the browser I'm using right now, Firefox lost almost 50 million users, and here's why it's concerning. Mozilla Firefox is the only popular alternative to Chromium-based browsers. It has been default choice for Linux users and privacy-conscious users across every platform. However, even with all the benefits as one of the best web browsers around, it's still losing grip for the past few years. I like how each paragraph is one sentence long. To be honest, we don't.
Is stupid. Anyway,
At least it's good writing. If it was in paragraphs, it would be better. To be honest, we do not even need a stat to say that many of us have switched over to Chromium-based browsers or Chromium itself instead of Firefox or Google Chrome. However, I came across a Reddit thread by u/NixCraft, which highlighted more details on the decline of the user base of Firefox since 2018. And surprisingly, the original source of this information is Firefox's public data report. As per the official stats, the reported number is active monthly users, which is about 224 million at the end of 2018. And it seems to have declined to 198 million as of the end of Q2 2021. So that makes it a whopping negative 46 million decline in the user base overall. Damn.
feels bad, man.
Firefox's decline is concerning but obvious, considering 2021 is the year where privacy-focused tools saw a big boost in their user base. Mozilla Firefox is looking at a constant decline, especially when Firefox managed to introduce some industry-first privacy practices Quite the irony, huh? In the case you have never used Firefox or have moved away for a long time, in comparison between linking article. So why are users moving away to Chromium web-based browsers or Chrome in particular? There are a few things I can think right off the bat. Google Chrome being the default web browser on Android. Microsoft
That's
Edge.
probably not it.
No, probably not. Who uses a freaking Chrome device like a Chromebook or something? Microsoft Edge as the default web browser for Windows, which naturally has
That's still probably not it.
There's no growth in either of those. Google.com, the biggest search engine, recommending to use users to install Google Chrome, which is potentially an anti-competitive behavior, is
Okay, maybe.
allegedly.
Yeah.
That one at least has some merit. And
Yeah.
some web services are exclusive to Chrome-based browsers. Like you can't.
Probably the most likeliest one here.
Most likely one, because I have to have Chrome downloaded on my computer right now because there are certain things you cannot open in Google's web drive if you don't use Chrome. Like there are certain images you can't touch or do anything like that, or certain particular PDF type documents, things like that. And it's just a bitch.
Yeah.
If anything's anti-competitive, it's that.
In
addition to that,
that's probably the explanation right there. Out of
Yeah.
all those options, that's probably the most likely.
Yeah. In addition to there's also a few things that Firefox may have done wrong, constantly breaking the user experience with major overhauls, or lack of significant performance improvements in recent years. Of course,
Having such a strong political stance on things that they alienate part of their user base.
yeah,
So that I'm sure that didn't help.
Of course, no web browser is perfect, but it's still something you're worried about. Well, I think yes. Here's why you should be worried. Mozilla's Firefox is only a viable competitor to Chromium-based browsers. If Firefox disappeared, the users won't have a choice to select different browser engine. I'm sure you will agree that the monopoly is bad, hence we need something to survive, an alternative to Google's Chrome engine. In fact, a significant number of websites optimized the user experience by keeping Chrome-based browsers in mind. So, eventually, the declining trend continues. Users like us may just be forced to switch over to other browsers by adapting to new workflows. Even if we ignore the dominant control of Google's Chrome engine on the web by arguing that it's technically better, Firefox is still something precious because it provides way more customizations and constantly improves its privacy practices unlike any other, except for maybe Brave browser. Yeah.
Well, okay, kind of. It's like this article doesn't go so much into like the
What
shit
the-
Google loads into Chrome and everything. It's more just talking about the engine itself and how it's like, hey, there's really there's nothing else that doesn't run on Chromium besides Firefox. So if Firefox goes down, then there's not really an alternative.
There's no competition in that.
There's no non-Chromium alternative.
Yeah.
Because yes, it's like you can get like ungoogled Chrome and Firefox, or I'm not sorry, Firefox.
You can get
Brave
Opera,
browser.
Brave
Yeah,
browser.
those.
There's another one I forget.
Vivaldi.
Default. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And it's again the fundamental issue is just that the fundamental issue is just it's Chromium all the way down.
Yeah.
No
There's
matter what these developers pull out of it, it is still fundamentally Chromium, and that's the issue.
Yeah. In other words, we'll be losing out on a lot of good things forcefully just because all of the competition prefers using Chromium as its base or engaging in anti-competitive activities. Yeah. So with it, I mean, Chromium is, as we know, an open source platform where people can take it and adapt it from there, but they still have to use Google's stuff on that part.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I use Firefox. I think it's great. It makes it easy. It's really, really they don't ban ad blockers. I appreciate that.
No,
But-
I used Firefox for a while too, but then it got noticeably slower. So, and I think the UI broke at some point or another for
Yeah.
me, and then
Yeah,
Yeah,
like they
when it
said,
breaks.
constant break in the user experience with major
Yeah.
overhauls. Like when
And
it
it's because
comes,
they started focusing on all these side projects to add into the browser as opposed to really just making the browser really good.
and yeah, that's true. I think they've changed their focus when it comes to that because I have not noticed a different experience at all when using it over the past how long have I had my new computer? 8 months now.
Almost a year.
Yeah. But point still stands that with it, I haven't noticed anything with it. It's been running just fine for me. I haven't noticed anything necessarily being slow.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I enjoy the privacy that it offers too, because it does a really good job at that as it has expressed.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that it's nice to have competition. I don't want the competition going away.
Yeah, someone needs to write their own new browser engine too, which I know is much easier said than done. But
Do
it was
it.
a third choice besides Firefox, Chromium, and whatever.
Here's the alpha move. Firefox, right?
Yeah.
They have open source. They make their own open source stuff, and they start competing that way against Chromium.
They already do.
That's right, they do.
Firefox's engine is open source. You can do like Arctic Font. I know there are a few different fonts that are popular, like Arctic Fonts, Water Fonts, stuff like that. Ice Fonts, I think, is cool. Yeah.
Well, then they're just terrible at advertising.
Yeah. You know what? I think a good like start for Firefox would be go back to the old logo. Go back to the old logo.
Old versus new.
Yeah. Check it out.
Because every company is moving towards a simpler design.
I know, and I hate it. I like things to have depth, okay?
Yeah, you're not getting that. Everything's getting slimmed down. What did Nerd Awaken say? $400 for a Note 9, and you can trade in your Note 20 and make it some money. Easy, bro.
Easy.
Here's a joke one, but at least it. No, I actually got the nice one. This is the new versus old, the 29 to 2013, then the 2013 moving forward, and then they dumbed it down to this one here. I can't get the exact large one pulled up.
Yeah, no, I want the 2009 to 2013 one back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I like the Calvin and Hobbes one.
I don't know. I enjoy a more simplistic design when it comes to icons and whatnot, because it just makes
that design is pretty simple.
I mean more like this, like the latest thing.
It's just lack of. The only real difference is like lack of detail.
I'm saying because I don't like things that are busy.
I don't think.
To me, it seems like the original one is a lot more busy, and it's not appealing to me as much.
I don't see how it's any more or less busy. It's just lacking detail, and lack of detail doesn't.
Details can make it busy, depending on your. It's a subjective thing.
Well, okay. Does a actual fox not have a fluffy tail?
I'm not talking about a fox. I'm talking about a logo of a company.
Well, the logo of the company has a fox in it.
I'm aware, but I don't like. They don't need to put a hyper realistic face of a fox on there. I like that. Doesn't interest me. I prefer simpler icons.
Want it. It's attention to detail. It's attention to detail.
You want me to you want me to like post a JPEG on one of these images? I don't know. To me, I like simpler designs.
Do you want my favorite one out of all the ones you have pulled out? One?
The Doge one.
Yeah. Moving on. You know what? That should be my fork of Firefox if I ever make one. It'll be Doge Fox.
Doge Fox.
Or Fire Doge.
Fire Doge. Easy, bro.
Fire Doge.
But I think it more comes down to Firefox just being terrible at advertising.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I've never seen a Firefox ad.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think they'd do better at that? It's really blowing up in their face.
Yeah, but you know what else is blowing up in people's faces?
These PSUs. Ayo!
Hey! There we go. Got the smooth one in.
So
we're good.
Yeah, we got one smooth transition. I wasn't shot down like a Japanese bomber.
The other one.
But with this, Gigabyte releases a statement on their exploding PSUs. So Gigabyte's GP
apparently has exploding PSUs.
Yeah.
But also,
so does Corsair, don't they?
Yes.
Gigabyte's GP P850GM and GP P750GM power supplies.
Names.
I don't know. They're power supplies. It doesn't matter. Have been making rounds around hardware circles for all the bad reasons. Apparently, these two models have high failure rates made by ticking time bombs for their own or for owners. Gigabyte has released a statement detailing the solution in regards to the reported failure from users and news outlets. Consumers who managed to purchase a GeForce RTX 30 series Ampere graphics card from Newegg's in the last couple of months probably heard of their own P850 or P750 GMs. The retailer paired the N50 RTX 30 series graphic cards with one of their aforementioned power supplies as part of bundles, so Ampere adopters forcibly had to buy a power supply with the graphics card regardless if they needed it or not. Neither of the two power supplies had good reputation on Newegg. Out of 92 consumers who bought the 850, 39% of users base left a 1 egg rating. The feedback for the 750 is even more alarming. According to Newegg, 53% of 305 buyers left a lowest rating. The two most common complaints were units being defective upon arrival and premature failures, which in some occasions exploded and took out other components with it. What a lovely experience. According to Gamers Nexus, 50% of the 10 power supplies failed during or after overpower protection tests. Some units failed at 60% load just after the first pass. The publication also conducted a survey with its community where 16% of users claimed the power supplies failed unexpectedly and were no longer operational. So it seems like it just can't handle the power spikes associated with more beefy cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. How unfortunate. I wonder what that's like.
It's not fun.
No? How is the RMA process with Corsair?
60 days later, it was pretty aight.
Did the PC ever arrive?
Huh?
Did
I still hold to this day that they never actually got my PC that I sent in.
You could have claimed like you had 4 quadros in that thing and they would have just believed you.
Yeah.
But with it, I'm just trying to figure out how Gigabyte can release a product like this. Because
Yeah, Gigabyte is not like a shit brand or anything. They're pretty reputable.
They make great graphics cards.
Their power supplies are even like decent up until this channel, and I'm sure it's like they are still decent until this happened. But it's like
it's not pretty.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, Fire can be pretty.
Oh, okay, you got me there.
It's like okay, please.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, with this, what does this say here? Like, the manufacturer reduced threshold from 120 to 150% down to 110 or 120% for both units. So they advertised, you could do 850 or watts or or whatnot on it, and they would allow you to freaking crank it to 150%, so you'd be able to crank out 1,300 watts out of that power supply.
You definitely should never do that.
That was their tolerance limit. It's like once it hits 50%, we're gonna crank it back.
You definitely still should never do that. Like, try and overload it to that point. Like, because power supplies are something you want to shoot for an overhead of, not like go past.
Yeah. You should have room to spare.
You want like around 75% overhead, or like
75% usage.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, 25% overhead is what I was trying for there.
Yeah.
Based on So
I'm just curious because like there's somebody who has to make a decision at some point and just say fuck it, right?
Yeah. There are many people that had to arrive at the same decision for a product to go from conception to like actual release.
Yeah. How do you get that far without somebody raising the issue of, hey, these things are exploding on us? Like, should we
do this?
It's like, should we stop in our tracks a bit?
Well, you should ask Samsung the same thing with the Note 7.
Exactly. It's
like, hey, the battery density we're packing this thing.
If you have at least reported by the user base on Newegg, a majority of people leaving a 1% rating.
Don't you think something's kind of up there?
Don't you think something's a little funky wucky?
Yeah, like you have to see an issue here, right? What an exploding topic. Wow, thank you. But also, please fuck off.
You want to go back to ranting about the S Pen?
No, not really. Why?
Okay.
I've said my piece. You know what? At least S Pens don't explode.
Yet.
Yeah, God, can you imagine where it's like Samsung just like screwed up with the capacitor in there and it's just like an S Pen would just randomly explode in your hand?
But like, does the S Pen run off of a battery?
No, it's a super capacitor in there. So
Okay.
it's a very long.
Yeah.
It's a very like high capacity, slow discharging capacitor
battery
that charges while it's inside the case or whatever, or inside the phone, and yeah.
So battery.
No, it's.
I know there's a difference. I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
But I don't know. I would find it hilarious if the new S Pen started blowing up. That'd be pretty funny. If you want to talk about a nail in the coffin.
I know.
You know, we're about an hour and 10 minutes into this podcast. Do you want to find another topic, or do you want to wrap it up?
It's up to you.
I don't know what else to talk about. There, like outside of that type of stuff, there's been a couple of big headlines. Nothing really. Okay. You know what? Actually, no. The 6600 XT reviews dropped this week. And
well, you know, all I have to say is that I was kind of right in the sense that it's kind of overpriced for 1080p gaming. So
yes.
Yeah, on top of supply
shortages. But they are not marked up nearly as much as the 3060s and 3060s.
No, they're not. Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. I've seen those bad boys marked up to $700.
Yeah. I don't know. My point still stands. I stand by everything that I said when we first talked about this 600 XT.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I still stand by everything I said. I said price doesn't matter because it get freaking marked up anyways.
Okay.
But I still stand by that. You know, AMD has to have some sort of 1080p card.
It's called the 490.
Yeah, but they don't make those anymore.
They should have not stopped making those.
Yes, and then just let what is it? Let NVIDIA continue selling the only card that you could buy new on that front. Or with,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
No. It's all about AK, bro. True. Yeah. Buy an AK monitor.
They'll pair really well with your M1 MacBook.
Get an AK monitor that's just color skewed to hell.
Yeah. Just like very, very warm.
Nah, extremely cool.
Everybody looks like Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
I see.
All right, but I think that's about going to be wrapping it up for here today, I think. A little bit, some fun topics. A little bit of back and forth there, like usual.
Yeah.
I think it's nice at least on the...
really bad takes.
Me?
Yes.
So do you.
I know. Well, your takes are shit, but it's okay because so are mine.
Look, to be fair, how often do I call stuff and it actually come out pretty accurate?
Okay, we both have a good track record of that.
Exactly. Though. They're not exactly shit if they get it proven right.
True. Yeah.
At least I do have some logic to what I say.
Okay.
No comment.
I said okay.
Sorry, I didn't hear it. It didn't come across on my side.
Okay, yeah. No, I accepted it.
But, you know, at least it's better than stuff like, I'll admit, one thing I don't like about the WAN show is that it's just a little bit too much Linus driven.
Oh, okay.
He kind of dominates things a little bit too much, in my opinion. There's no real back and forth between him and Luke.
Luke needs to project the big dick energy more.
True. He needs to stop working on float plane as much.
I know.
All right. Well,
still waiting for that UI refresh.
Not gonna happen, bro.
It still looks like ass.
I'm not denying it.
Sorry, not sorry.
But let's wrap it. Let's start wrapping it up here. Where can the good people find you?
Find me on Twitter at Infurious7809. That is at INFERIUS7809. Mostly keep it anime over there, so go check it out.
Yep.
My
And you
personal
can,
Twitter.
if you wish to follow me and whatnot, I am at filmed by Gman on Twitter, but you could better reach us out to on Twitter by going and searching for tech_4_thought, our nice little Twitter handle there. We do like posting things there, and hopefully we'll get more memes posted thanks to Sean and our various ideas.
How's that Giga Chad meme going, Sean?
He's probably not working on it right now, I guarantee you. But we also have that Instagram now, tech_4, spelled FOR_thought. That we use. We've posted a couple things there on that now. I think we have like 4 images now. Progress.
Okay. Yeah. Better than 0.
The video editor's Twitter's at Nerd Awakens. That is true.
You know it.
Not editing this video though. It's just going straight to YouTube for them to deal with it.
Straight to YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I need to go back and actually edit out the beginning portion of some of our videos, so it's just straight into the intro, then right into the podcast, and not have like 4 or 5 minutes of just nothing.
Of you figuring out audio issues?
No, that's after we go live.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
To be fair, I saw them with like a minute or two. It's not the worst.
Okay.
But I think that's what else do we have? Oh yeah, of course, sub please. We
Plus sub.
Plus sub. We are shooting for that 100 subscriber mark to get that custom URL because it would look nice.
Yeah.
But you know what else you can check out as our affiliate?
CultureGaming.com. Gaming news, reviews, opinion pieces, etc.
And more. Yes, we are in fact professionally unprofessional. I think our yeah, that describes it very well. I'm happy we went with that motto.
Yeah.
All right. And with it, we will see you all next time around.
Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one.